Welcome to My on Mondays, an explorative approach to the possessive my through narratives, art, and sound. I'm Matt Bunk. This week, Elena Maddy shares 8 short poems. Elena is a writer and stage manager originally from Roseville, California, now based in Boise, Idaho. When she writes about home. This episode is a sort of spiritual companion to Elena's interview in episode 198. You don't need to listen to one to understand the other, but if you like what you hear in this episode, you can go back to 198 to hear more about her work. Here's Elena.
Water and wildflowers. This is something unexpected, aligning to the times, the softness that has overcome your eyes, painted not for the ocean, but by, so blue they all but churn, turning tide pool teal and crashing coastline cobalt, a sea a sail, and softer still in the gray light of almost morning, your alabaster smooth in rain small hands, warmer than memory can hold, and your chest, a field of Boise's blooming foothills flowers, all the gentle geometry of lupine and the precise artistry of antelope bitterbrush, the citrus sweetness of syringa and the suggested singe of firecracker beard tongue. A trail I'd long to walk for hours, tracing not with feet but fingertips, maybe even lips, until the path is well worn, sunk into at the start of sunrise. To find tenderness without turmoil, affection without affectation, still labor of love but no need of love's labors, an extension of our conversation, with no need even of words. Just dawn breaking out my windows, your pleasant shivers under my weight, sunflowers yet to be planted, to be golden, yet to even be. When I say you're cool, what I mean is this. There are no words for why, and no words for and, just as there are no words for your gentle hands on my crooked spine as your uncrooked smile spreads to the wildflowers in each amber puddle shining from beneath dark dandelion seeds. Your eyes a February field, your voice a late September breeze. If I were to paint you in water or wine, what would stain your lips when the goblet runs dry? Would there be something to speak or some reason to cry behind indigo glasses, beneath violet skies? If I draw you in crayon, all 64 colors, will I betray I am only another writer resisting reducing you to each curve of cool, each shade of blue? Mirror of moonlight, espresso, enjambment, how do you put parts of speech to a poet, a man that knows metaphor, meter, and time, when I only know glances, and reaching, and rhyme? So to your and, I can only say this. Of all the words for you, the best ones don't exist. Will I know when it's time? How do you say something for the first time when you've said it already some unrehearsed time? When I cry walking to the water I grew up by, I think about convection ovens, cloudbursts, time. I dream of thunderstorms and trees ochre and green as ripples I've seen in your eyes each immersed time. As I stare at my fourth finger, I see your name, circling my skin in both best and worst times. Circling kitchen drains is the sound of you humming. Would I still hear water running if I reverse time? Wood foot-high fences and unfurnished apartments each echo your stories, whispers from dispersed times. Each well of syllables flows from brink to basin when we say I love you for not the first time. When I look at you, I think this must be it. That first time that I saw her, couldn't look directly at her, like the sun off of the water, her spirit full of winter. Hair pulled back to reveal cheekbones like fine china teacups, delicate curves calling to be cradled. Smile lines like the echoes of waves on a shore or knuckle prints in a gently crimped pie crust. I long to pet them, paint them, memorize and trace and taste them. I don't realize I'm drawing circles on your arm until I realize now that this is an option. I never want to be doing anything else. My skin feels softer having been touched by yours. I can feel your fingertips like the kiss of hilltop wind long after the sun has set and I am back on the ground. A pleasant emptiness in my head and a fullness in my chest. Birds and bubbles. I want to keep you, like a rock in my pocket, always ready to return you to a lake or the mountains, not a secret, just something sacred. Something I could carry beneath my breastbone, near where the blood flows, like a poem, a paragraph, a painting, a prayer. I sleep on my left side, but I slept on the right every time I dreamt about you, before I knew what side you slept on, that your hair would soon be spread across my pillow, where my nose goes, smelled like strawberry and wood smoke, like some place that I could call home. When music became language, it didn't feel like collecting love songs. It felt like building a puzzle, losing breath at what the final image was, like an almost afterthought, whispered in the dark. You are a surprise, so sweet and shy, a falling star. I couldn't get you if I tried, but I will try, no matter how tired. Lips and limbs tripping over themselves for one more moment of blissful infinite. That isn't a real word, but we need new words for this. Café Barone, drawing the circle. Thick sliced and rich with cinnamon, French toast shows me the meaning of melt in your mouth. It is hot. No, it's November and smells like wet earth in the absence of trees. Still, I am sweating from ankle to palm, though cold seeps into the bottom of my feet. I am careful not to shiver as I slice the sweet bread into bits and take bite after decadent bite. I eat slowly, nodding along as I struggle not to giggle with my mouth full, knowing full well I would flash you a smile dripping with syrup. My lips are pulled so far apart that I cannot make them meet my fork. Sometimes when I remember that day, I hear only the tines against my teeth. It brings me back to car crashes I used to see in dreams. How did I get behind the wheel? I still don't know. The dreams were more pleasant then, before the toast, after the tea. Wind-whipped cottages by vast oceans, window benches and cozy kitchens. Why is it blankets are better than bedspreads? I used to wake up smelling of salt and seaweed. Sand, soft on my tongue. No, not sand. Sugar. Oatmeal with brown sugar. Warm from the stove with a hint of spice. The scent of cinnamon. Obeyed with room to grow. Breaking. The word they use is breaking, for each crest of a wave, for that first light of dawn. And yet, as I put on my socks while you're still softly snoring, that doesn't seem the right word at all. It feels instead like a tethering, a knot tied by practiced fingers in yellow lamplight, a warm hand reaching into my chest as I slip into sleep beside you, my kind-eyed tree frog, still awake with the full moon. Now, as the stars begin to burn out for the morning and the black brightens to gray, I smile at the gentle tugs of another early hour, donning my hat and coat when I would rather stay in bed with you. As I move to leave our bedroom, I turn and gaze at you again, a hurried sketch with a smudge at the nose, still brilliant in black and white. So lovely and small, sleeping you looks so small. I almost fail to notice the bow now lulling atop your dozing middle. A single string, unknowably long, connects us. You and I and you. You wander with me through the house, leaving our hallway littered with loops of finely braided cord. You chase me around the kitchen island, past the toaster and the table, to the dishwasher and the door. Another sunrise sneaking into view. I am lonely for you before I even do up my laces. You guide my hands in the tighten and tying, though your own are still resting beneath our pillows, or else against the softness of your cheek. You stay at my side, or close behind me, as I reach out for the handle. I hesitate, feeling two familiar tugs of you left still slumbering, rolling over rooms away. You hold firm as I falter, keeping my hand steady as I long to turn back to bed, back to you. The moment the pull grows too strong, when I feel the line go taut and my knees go weak, is the very moment in which I feel the thread extend. Then I carry you with me into daybreak, your light spilling into the sky. Your hair. In the suffocatingly small room, with the moon slipping in between green curtains, I watch you pull your ponytail down onto your bare shoulders, and I ask if I can brush your hair. I ask if I can brush your hair, and I feel you hold your breath after you say yes, like it was a confession or some sacred request. I brush your hair, and I wonder how I lived so much life before realizing the most beautiful thing I ever did was try to French braid for my best friend and fail. I wonder how I peeled so many tangerines to share and never cried with relief at the orange staining my fingernails. I wonder why I never stopped to streak mascara across my nose on purpose just to laugh at myself in the mirror. I brush your hair, and I realize everything I ever did right was an accident, maybe even a mistake, and I wonder if you can feel it too. Every silly crease in my smile, every freckle on your back, every imperfection the wrong artist might miss led us here. Your hair flowing like a waterfall, a flower field, a cloud of breath on a cold morning. Another midnight, our bed, my legs wrapped around yours, gently brushing. Eulogy, elegy. If I had to eulogize you, I would say, here lies. Did eulogies start with here lies? You would know. You're the only one I can think to ask, but I suppose you wouldn't answer anymore. And if you could, I can't decide whether I would want to ask about eulogies or funerals, or whether I'd ask you if you have a favorite type of birthday cake. Mine is spice cake, unfrosted. I can't remember if I ever told you that. Or maybe I would just ask about how your day is going, and whether you still like when you wonder the same thing about mine. But I suppose I can't ask you anything anymore. I wish I could. I wish I had. Anyway, all I would say is, here lies someone who changed everything. If I had to eulogize you, I would say I don't believe you're really gone. Not because I see you in the haze of streetlights downtown after midnight, or in the lines around my eyes, or in sunflowers, though I will. But because I still turn to the side anytime someone says something utterly insane in a film or a forum, and every time I am genuinely surprised you are not there, already looking back. If I had to eulogize you, I wouldn't. I would tell whoever asked that I don't know your place of birth or your fourth sibling's name, and I would pretend that either of those things mattered, that they needed to be said, that they had anything at all to do with the truth of you. If I had to eulogize you, I would think about my mother, what she wrote about her dad, his name embroidered on his work shirt, how he had to die for me to know that about him, about her, how I would never hug him again, but I could almost see him, so many years younger, how his mustache might have looked like yours. If I had to eulogize you, I would say, love, I was wrong. On the 14th, please, I take it back. I do believe in ghosts. If I had to eulogize you, I think all that would come out would be that I'm still buying plant butter and white beans even though there is no one left to buy me fig bars and coffee creamer. Sometimes I just stand in the grocery store aisles, wondering what you might like for dinner that night, whether we'd eat the same protein. I leave the store empty-handed, forgetting that I still have to eat. And I still set 2 alarms, but there's no one to wake up early enough to hold anymore, so I get up with the first, stare at the coffee machine, remember your sleepy hair and your dressing gown, the way you would always hold your cup with 2 hands, unless you were holding one of mine. I watch the drip slow, pour half the pot down the drain. I think about your stubble, always catching my hair. I think about your smile, your smell, your hands. I let the coffee get cold and don't drink a single drop. If I had to eulogize you, I would say, we have been through worse disasters together. And I'm not sure if that would be true, if it was tomorrow, if it was today. But to even think it might be makes me feel so lucky. I would say I was so lucky. I am so lucky to love and to have been loved by you. If I had to eulogize you, I guess what I'm supposed to say is, hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Elena, and I'm the deceased girlfriend. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say I was your girlfriend, or if I get to keep the present tense now that I'll only ever be your girlfriend when I once dreamed of being your wife. Pro-wedding, anti-marriage. That's how I knew you to be, and I wouldn't have tried to change your mind for a second, not for anything. But you used to look at me like you already had, and would never change it back. We would have thrown a hell of a party, and built an even more beautiful life. Some people may say I'll never know that for sure, but I do. I do. You will always be my favorite person to plan events with. I wish we got to plan that one instead of this. I'll forever be the grieving widow who never got to marry you. And I'll be grateful that's the life I got, even if I wish I got a different one. Even if I wish we did. Anyway, what I want to say is thank you, everyone, for being here today. They were loved a lot and will be dearly missed.
My on Mondays is brought to you by Ming Studios, a contemporary art space and international artist residency program in Boise, Idaho. For more information about Ming's programming, or if you'd like to participate in My on Mondays, you can visit our website at mingstudios.org. We'll be back next Monday.